Next panel session, we'll be talking about something that's really, really interesting. It's something that has been picking up, especially just after the pandemic, talking about influencers. And we're going to be talking about unlocking new realms of influence. But while this particular panel session will be happening, we are very sensitive to the fact that some of us, our stomachs might be grumbling right now. So what we're going to do is we have snacks for you. Right now, it's not necessarily a break per se. We just want you to go get your snacks and come back and sit down while we have the panel session. So we have our hostesses that will help us. We're going to go line by line to get our snacks, and then we get back to sit down. We munch on something while we're listening to the next set of a panel session. So please, let's just do that orderly, please. Thank you. So please, let's just grab our snacks over there. We're going to go line by line. Our hostesses will definitely coordinate on how that happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next panel session, the topic, like I said before, is unlocking new realms of influence. And to have this conversation, we're going to be having, the first person I'm going to introduce is a comedian and founder of House of Ajebo Animation, Jenny and Keddy Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for a man who has made us laugh for so many years via stand-up comedy and cartoons. Make some noise for Erem Emeka, a.k.a. Ajebo. Round of applause for him, please.
I need some love before the road. Cause I don't work for studio. This is the life I chose. You are the one I know.
All right, to join Ajebo in this panel, we're going to be having a lady, of course, the head of Business Air Power Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Juliet Naji. Round of applause for Juliet Naji. All right. Do you need help? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. The next person that'll be joining them is the Executive Director, Prota Media, Rilwan Ajiferuke. Do we have him here? Round of applause for him.
I need some love for my soul.
Round of applause for him, though.
And I know if you do, I'm on my own. This is the life I chose. You are the one I know.
All right, as a matter of fact, Rilwan Ajiferuke is Executive Director of Plura Media. Plura Media. Round of applause for him once again. All right, we are supposed to have another comedian. This one, of course, is big on social media. He is a comedian, MC Lively, Michael Sonny. Do we have him here? Round of applause for him. Is he here? Okay, perhaps he will join us to join the conversation. Now, to moderate this session, we took out time to pick someone who knows exactly what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome a digital creator. His name is Emmanuel Agbaeze, a.k.a. C Classic. Round of applause for him. Round of applause for him as he comes forward.
You are the one I know. Give me your lowest. Make a day balance and I'll give you. Make a day showcase. Give me your lowest. Make a day balance and I'll give you. Make a day showcase. Mama
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The challenge I have is we have 50% of the audience trying to get food, and the other 50 listening to us. But that notwithstanding, we'll have to get to work. In the industry that we play in, the show must go on. So definitely this show will go on, and I'm delighted to be sitting on a panel with very heavyweights. I have my brother there with a white beard. There's something about people with beard, so it's a good thing. And I have Ajebo, who I've watched and known for over a decade. And we have our gentle sister here as well, head of business. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk about something very interesting. It's a conversation that can build a sub-industry in the Nigerian creative economy. And I'm hoping that we do that and birth this new sub-industry. So please listen, share your ideas as well to see that this comes to life. So without any further ado, I will run into the conversation, and I hope you get something out of it. So, I mean, we all have our phones. We are on social media enjoying content. And digital creators chase attention online, while out-of-home companies own some of the most eye-catching spaces offline. Both groups already know how to tell stories, just in different arenas. Oh, yes. I think the distraction is a lot. Ajebo is asking that we give them 5 minutes to sit down. Do you say aye? No, I'm talking to my Senate members. Okay, the ayes have it. I think we'll wait for 5 minutes and then speed things up. So, I have my panelists here. I have Real One. I have Juliet. I still call her Ajebo, but I don't know. Bear with me, man. I've never called your real name. So, I have Ajebo here. And we want to have an interesting conversation. I think it's one that every practitioner should listen to, because this might birth a new sub-industry. If we're able to create a sub-industry, that is more money for out-of-home owners, more money for creators, bigger exposure for creators, better collaboration for out-of-home practitioners. So this is very exciting for me, and I hope we do justice to it. So I'll get on immediately. I really want to ask Real One. I did a research, and somebody said, ask Real One. So I think I'll ask you my first question. You know, it's blissful to have somebody call a name. So, you already know digital creators chase attention online, while out-of-home companies own some of the most eye-catching spaces offline. Both groups already know how to tell stories in different arenas. Where do you see the biggest overlap between what creators want and what OOH owners can offer? More like, what can each side bring to the table that the other can't get on their own?
Okay, clearly, for content creators, they already have their audiences. Bringing it on the out-of-home space basically is to expose it to a wider audience. And not only that, it also affords them the opportunity to have what I will call an experience. Because the truth today is the fact that most brand owners today want to have an experience with their consumers. And there's no better place to do it than out of home. So basically, you're bringing together online to offline and offline back to online. So there's a synergy that happens there. And basically, that's what out of home will give you. Because either you're doing the digital platform or using the static platform. It's now a function of what technology we merge together to be able to create an experience for the audience out there.
Julia, do you want to say something to that? Yeah, do you want to you want to add something to that?
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is brands need to recognize the gap in the market, because whenever there is a gap in the market, the gap means sales. The gap means there is something that is to be profited by someone or some group of people. OH and creators, that is the gap in the market. How can they collaborate? How can they work hand in hand? For outdoor advertising, we bring leverage. We make people feel seen. We bring something called offline platform in the hands of consumers. Why creators, they bring online platform. They want their voices to be heard online. Your brand will be heard online. So if you bring those two together, the collaboration will be something that is very, very key, very, very big, something that in Nigeria, we haven't tapped into that market right now. And it's something that brand needs to tap into.
I mean, that's interesting. But then, Ajabo, beyond getting your face or cartoons, the stories on the board, which for us is just visibility, how would you measure the benefit of a billboard appearance compared with the million views or million clicks that you would have gotten on Instagram?
Thank you. That's a very interesting question. Hello, everyone. So first of all, this is a very, very interesting conversation. Knowing that what's conversion for an online influencer is clicks, right? So this conversation is one that I don't think it has ever happened, and it's something that needs to happen. You never know until you try, right? So to your question, what will I count as measurement? Exactly. There's nobody clicking. So how do I count it? So I think it will have to do with experience, as he said, or what we'll normally call street credibility. The fact that you walk into a room and people can identify not just online, but also offline. There's as much as a million views or a million clicks look like you have a lot of presence online. Trust me, there's a huge market offline that do not even know that you exist online. That's one. Secondly, there's another market who they just see you online, but seeing you offline will make their day. So yes, I think that measurement would be to the extent that people who, like the drivers, the bus drivers, those people, the common man on the street, that will be the measurement. The fact that you also have that segment of the audience loving your brand as well. Thank you.
I mean, that's interesting. But there's a part that every creator likes. It's money. It's the same thing every outdoor practitioner that I know like. Even more money. Now, creators enjoy licensing fees from YouTube and TikTok, for example, and Meta. If we were to have a collaboration like this, let's say we have a billboard or multiple billboards at the airport, and the airport receives over 5 million individuals annually. And there's a collaboration to have a creator's creation maybe 10 seconds of his creation on those boards. Can we think of a model to make sure that the creator is compensated for his IP, and at the same time to make sure that the out-of-home guy is not wasting that space that he would have given to MTN?
I think there is no straight-jacketed approach to this when it comes to the issue of revenue, as it were. Because again, if somebody owns the idea, somebody is creating a channel for that idea to be seen out there. So it's a function of, I think it will be more of an approach that is a case-by-case approach. We can't sit down here and say, is it 70-30, is it 40-20, or, because there's a whole lot that goes into this now, in terms of how is the execution going to take place. Creating the content on one hand, clearly, and there's the part that borders on, okay, is each channel, will it be ideal for this idea we are trying to propagate out there? And of course, the role of the brand owners is also there. Don't forget. So it's a case-by-case situation. We can't say this is the model that will be most suitable. It's in the course of execution and conversation around delivering this that will also give rise to a whole lot of things. Because this is a novel idea. And when it's a novel idea, you can't say this is how it can go. Because in the course of that execution, you're bound to be faced with different roles being played by everybody involved in ensuring that we have that objective we set for ourselves to be achieved.
I hear you loud and clear. But there's something I need to mention. We have platforms. YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, these are platforms. We want to make billboards platforms. So for 1 minute, let us look at all of the billboards as platforms, just platforms. Because I hear us talking about brands already. We will come to collaboration with brands that would, bring the money. But for now, the creator who is creating on Instagram doesn't get money immediately. He creates for a period and then gets brand collaboration and licensing deals. So let's look at billboards as platforms. First and foremost, do you, owners and users of billboards, do you think it's a novel idea to give 10% of your billboard space, 10 seconds rather, of your billboard space to a creator creating content for entertainment only, no brand integration?
Again, we'll probably have to take our mind back to where we are at some point when you have a program or an idea. I'm sure Ajebo has passed through that route, so we can easily have a conversation around that. I'm sure there was a point in time when, for TVs, some of the comedies we see today, they had to be given a sort of space to hear an idea, even when there's no brand to sponsor the same program. It is in the same mode we need to look at this as well. The model about how much will come into this is now a function of acceptance by the people who want to sell the idea to. An idea on its own will not sell itself. It is in the acceptance of the idea that we'll begin to think of what kind of model can we use to be able to monetize this. Because it's about monetization now.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I'm saying to you, I have a platform that can deliver this kind of demographics and interest. And you have this content that can run on it. It is in pushing it out there that people can now embrace it and begin to see that, okay, how can brand ABC leverage this to push what they have to sell?
Fantastic.
So it's about monetizing it, but to now say this is the specific model we can work with as we sit down here, it's a difficult one. But I can tell you that it's an idea that we can be willing
To test.
to run with.
Okay.
And I'm sure it is also part of this that has informed a brand like Ajebo, also collaborating with a whole lot of out-of-home platform when they have
Okay. Then I've heard from the billboard people. Let me ask a creator. You have something to say as well?
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
Okay, so I think there is an influence to be tapped into. When both worlds come together, there is a segment of the market that collaboration can benefit, even without us monetizing it in the short run. We know that in the long run, this is going to bring money. So it's something doable. It's something we are open to.
Okay. They are open to it. Ajebo, are creators open to creating 10 seconds content to feed a new platform, billboards?
Okay, thank you very much. I think our work is to create. Give us a timing and we'll create it. I mean, Reels used to be like 15 seconds at some point, right? So of course, we can create for 15 seconds. Talking about the model, like you mentioned, for what model can work if we were to do that. It's a novel idea. It's something that has not been done before. Both parties must be willing to collaborate. Like you said, we're now viewing the billboard as the platform, right? So what that means is, so there are two different models for monetization. You can either monetize directly from the platform, like what YouTube does, where you're on the platform and you're paid to be on the platform. Or what we do here in Nigeria. Instagram is not, Instagram, you just keep posting, and that's another business model, right? You keep posting till you get enough popularity, then brands now come in, So I think that will be the kind of model that can work for this kind of partnership, where the billboard, because literally, why do brands sign influencers, popular faces, people with huge online communities? It's because they put their faces on those billboards. Once you see it, you're attracted, and you want to see what they are offering, right? And then you can now see the call to action. So how about the out-of-home companies? Imagine them, first of all, leaving the brand out, pitching to the influencers that we can come together and do this. So for instance, hey Achebo, can you give us a 10 seconds Tegwolo sketch that we can put on our billboard? 10 seconds, people can see it and be entertained without sound. I go home, I do my brainstorming. It's animation. I mean, I can make you laugh in 10 seconds using animation without saying a word, right? We create that. Now, it's not a partnership with the brand, it's a partnership with the board. And then that thing, they now play the role of Instagram, right? And then we put it there. You just pass the board every time, and you laugh for 10 seconds. And then we can gather enough data to say, oh, this is working. Now, that partnership can now go to the brand and say, hey, guys, you would have, imagine signing Tegwolo and putting him on the billboard. Right now, we are already signed to Tegwolo. So people see the billboard, they see Tegwolo do an impression for 5 seconds, and they are laughing. And then after 5 seconds, the brand advert comes up. So it's better leverage when the out-of-home company is speaking to the brand. So I think it's a synergy that can work if we come together and have that agreement and say, hey, we're going to add you on our board to get their attention, and then we're going to pitch it to the brand. So as you are pitching to the brand, you are pitching for yourself, and you are pitching for the creator. Win-win. Thank you.
I mean, I think that's really interesting. But Juliet, brand managers are all about analytics, measurements, numbers. How do you think we can measure the effectiveness of such collaboration with a creator on a billboard?
Okay, so for this to work, we have to leverage DOH, which is the digital billboards. That way it's easier measured, it's easier seen, and the collaborative measures that we put in place would work perfectly fine, because content creators, they usually create video content. And where can video content be displayed? On digital advertising. For us to want to measure this, we need platform that is measurable. We have lots of billboards in Nigeria where you can easily measure the numbers of viewers, the people that see your platform. These things are already being put in place. Billboard owners now know that these things are important for us to sell going forward. So we are putting that in place. There are technologies that can be used to measure the influence, which is already ongoing. For the company I work with, it's something that we're already looking into partnering with some of our partners from South Africa. We're looking into doing that as well. So before the end of this year, it's something we can put to our client and say, oh, this amount of people saw your ad, this is the reach, this is the total number of leverage you've gotten from the ad, from the billboard. You know, it's something that can be done, and it's something that is already being done as we speak.
I mean, a fantastic one. It's looking like we're having a sub-industry in the creative economy already. But then, real one. In television, whatever the content is that you send to television, there is a channel director that first certifies that the content is fit for public consumption. In a conversation where we now have a new platform, not TV, not radio, but billboard, who becomes the quality assurance officer to make sure that that content that Ajebo has produced is fit for the people in Ikeja environs, or is fit for public consumption? Who becomes the quality assurance officer?
Okay, currently, as it were, a typical advert you see out there has gone through some level of a check with the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria. So, I mean, basically, it is still a content that has to be put out there. So, the checks will still have to go through the necessary channel. The only challenge we probably might have here now is the ability to go to the market as fast as we want to. So clearly, some level of training has to go in between the two. The content owner needs to localize whatever content to fit into the ethos of wherever it's going to be used. Because it's also important that you can't throw out anything out there. So the aspect of regulation still comes in, but the challenge we're going to have now is the fact that you can't eat the market as fast as you want it to be, because we need to ensure that whatever we're throwing out there aligns with what the regulatory council are acceptable to, which basically is what, I mean, a typical advert, either commercial or product or service, goes through before it hits you out there in the market.
But then, this is for you, this is just content. You can make content today and tomorrow is on YouTube. Will the creators be happy to wait for months for this thing to go through Acon and the likes?
Sorry, let me chip in something there. Regulatory approval now is almost 24 hours in some cases. So it's not a case of weeks or months. No, we've gone past that stage.
Ajebo is just creating the content. He's not advertising any external brand. Are you happy that this thing would first go through the regulator?
Well, it's a new stream of income. Whatever needs to be done, I'm sure we'll be open to doing it. You know, however, Nigeria. Okay, let's not go down that route. But in Nigeria, there's a lot of stress around what is acceptable and what is not. You know, seemingly little humor that you want to put out there. Somebody's raising an eyebrow, like is, you know. I think the ethos are the same. You know, what is acceptable is what is acceptable, and even online, online is very strict. Very strict. As little as even taking off your shirt on TikTok, you can be banned, right? So, yeah, I believe that the creators already know what is acceptable. But if you have to go through the regulations to make the partnership work and unlock a new stream of income, why not?
This is sounding like the man who is about the money here.
Looking for. If you can tick that box, then the next thing is, how do we go about it? How can I incorporate my brand into this content to serve the purpose of giving me that sales that I'm looking for? Because it's about, ultimately, like the first panel session did identify, is about sales, sales, sales. And for a typical out-of-home company, it's about location, location, location. But however, backed with that location is the aspect of insight and data. So essentially, if a location is in GRA, for example, and the kind of audience I'm looking for can be found around there, and I have a content that speaks to them, why won't I be involved in such a novel idea?
Fantastic.
Because it speaks to what I want to achieve. What I want to achieve is that if my brand is connected to this content and my audience can be found around there, obviously, what am I doing not being there? I mean, a case in point is the Jollof war that we all, part of. What has been achieved from there came from an offline, and it was brought online. And I could tell you on that particular day, some people were monitoring online a whole lot of things. Those who didn't even know about it at all. So you can imagine what the brand, without me mentioning their name, achieved on that particular day, which, spirals beyond just particular day, and is still a news content up till
Today.
this point that we're talking about. So it's about,
Great.
you are creating an experience that you cannot use money to buy.
Great, great. But then, Juliet, what do you think? I mean, you work with one. How would you, and Ajabo is here. You guys can sign a partnership deal right now after this. But then how do you pitch this collaboration, DOH First Campaign, in collaboration with a brand like Ajabo, creating maybe a particular series?
Okay, so I have seen this happen in other markets. For example, there was a campaign by Spotify where they had content creators make content online, and then this same content was projected in a DOH screen. So what the content creator did, they went to that screen, take pictures of themselves with the ad running on the screen, posted it back on social media, and they tagged it from phone to billboard. That is like elevation. Oh, I just started this thing from my phone. Oh, I don't know, say I go blow. Now I'm on a billboard. You know, that is one idea a brand can use to amplify or milk out the benefits from this collaboration. Another idea is, let's say, for example, I sell billboards at the airport. I tell a brand, you know what? Tell a content creator to put your QR code on their platform, online. Why I put that same QR code in my platform in, let's say, the departure lounge of the Lagos International Airport Terminal. The key thing there, or the catch there is, when travelers are going through this part, they take a snapshot of the QR code. They also tag the content creator and say, see, we saw your QR code. You know, it brings the CTA, like there's a call to action already. People are willing to negotiate or collaborate with such ideas. To me, I feel that is the way brands can leverage this collaboration.
I mean, this is fantastic and it's good. I mean, a round of applause. Great. It's good you're talking from experience and what has already happened. But then, Ajabo, there's never been this collaboration, especially from Nigerian creators with digital out-of-home owners. How do you think creators can pitch to brands? Because you have, you know, an array of brand collaborations happening already. So how can creators pitch to brands to say, we have a new campaign that you can, you know, enjoy or integrate a DOH campaign first, a DOH first campaign? How do you think creators can do this?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll just pick up from what she said, using QR codes, for instance. Now, imagine I'll use my cartoon character again, Tegwolo, which is loved by many. She said something about from phone to billboard. So how about we bring the influence from online to the billboard? So Tegwolo has a subscriber base of 2.3 million on YouTube, for instance, and I mean you're doing like 6 to 10 million views every month. So he has that following. People love Tegwolo. They use him for memes and different stuff. Imagine Tegwolo on a billboard at the airport, holding a QR code and just with a funny face and say, "Scan me." Right? People will scan. People will scan. Or imagine Tegwolo holding a product from an FMCG, holding a product and he just takes a bite and whatever it is, or he's basically, we use him for a 10 seconds call to action. We're taking that influence he has online.
Thank you. So clearly, we're there already. It's an idea that is, if I'm allowed to use the word, it's been delivered. It's just to seal and package it, really. The future is about experience, and the content coming from the likes of him is an experience that we're already part of it by being online. What we're saying now is that we're bringing it to a platform that is going to give it a wider reach and even more brand trust and acceptance. That is what OH brings to the table. Beyond just saying that we are offline, we are online, we are saying bring it to a wider audience and get a wider reach. And so if he's talking about 2-point-something million, I'm talking about just one location that delivers close to 2 million on a daily basis. You multiply that by a month, and you see the figures, as it goes up. So clearly, what we are bringing to the table is trust, recognition, and reach, which any other platform cannot deliver.
So I'm going to add something. The creators economy, or the content creators economy, are said to be grown to a $250 billion economy as at today. We are not trying to steal from them. OH has their own money. And we are one of the most powerful offline platform. In fact, when new media came, they thought traditional media would go extinct. But as at today, OOH holds the most powerful, according to research. So this collaboration is something that
income for creators. And you see, once there's testimonials from 1 or 2 people, that's all you need. They'll jump on it. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. So I want to open the floor to my other Senate members. I've spoken to the Senate leaders. If you have a question, just raise a hand. If you have a question, nobody has a question for this new industry? Let me see. If you have a question or a contribution, can you wave? We don't. So, I think I'll ask oh my goodness. Please, a microphone to her. I think you can ask the question, we will hear you. Hello, lady, please. Step forward, thank you.
Hello, good day, everyone. My name is Priska. So my question goes to Ajibo.
And then 1 month down the line, they will come and apologize. that those people that were scammed, I did not know them, and all that. So as a creator, you need to do your research. You need to know who you're working for. Business is built on trust. So you need to also show yourself trustworthy and understand what you're doing. A lot of people think it's just about creating and putting a brand in it, and they call it brand integration. A lot of creators need to start to attend conferences like this, where you present yourself as an actual brand, where package yourself in such a way that you're an entity, you're a brand, and I think for the creator, for the brands, these are some of the things that they look out for. It's not just being funny. It's not just, I can tell you off the top of my head, some creators that are very, very popular, they have a huge following, but brands won't work with them. Maybe off the kind of content they post, off how they even handle, they can't even pronounce the name of the brand properly. I've had creators say, this close-up is the best McLean in the world. Like, okay, so you have to train yourself to be brand ready. A lot of people think school is a scam until they get in this kind of field to play, and then you just see that they don't even know what they are doing. It's just this person being carry camera shoots. He do am well, so I on my own camera. So you get to that point where you are not just creating. You know that you are positioning yourself to be able to partner with global brands. There are things that brands look out for before they can partner with you. And if you don't build that in your brand, you'll never attract them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was solid. But before we run away, I'd like to take a few words from Real One, and then Juliet, and then Ajebo. So Real One, what would you like to summarize with?
I think in summary for me, what we are seeing here is a future that speaks to the fact that collaboration is what can take us to where we're going to. And we have in our hands a platform that year in, year out, measurability is becoming something that is key in our industry. So clearly for brands or would-be users of that platform, they are sure of the fact that it is a return on investment. It's not just a case of this platform is here, but the platform that is here has data and is measurable, and therefore it is worth investing your time and money into.
Fantastic.
For me, I want to actually speak to we owners of billboards, we salespeople of billboards. I just want to put it out there that the world is changing. Things are changing. It is not business as usual. We need training. Outdoor owners need to train their salespeople, because right now things are changing. Brand wants to hear how you can solve their problem, not just sending site lists to them. So my key output is train yourself. If your establishment is not training you, try as much as you can. Read more, make more research, train yourself so that when it's time for you to speak, you'll be able to speak correctly. Thank you.
Okay, from the creator perspective, I think we need to keep this kind of conversations going, have more avenue where we can talk about this and get us to understand more how we can make this work. I mean, both from the creator's perspective and from the billboard owner's perspective. We also need to keep an open mind to make it work. I mean, from the creator perspective, once you talk about things like this, they send you rate card. And from the billboard perspective, I'm sure it's the same thing. We're all about our money, but for us to make this work, we need to understand that we need to collaborate, and we need to give room for testing, and that will mean trying it out, putting money behind us first to try it out, from both ends. Thank you.
Beautiful one. So I would just add by saying spot opportunities. Most of us didn't see this opportunity yesterday. We see the opportunity today. Leverage the opportunity. Leverage your expertise in the industry. Leverage your network. Most of you have a number of creators as friends. See the collaborations that can spiral immediately and make all the money there is to make. The world is yours. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for having us.
Let me hold ya, put me on top around ya. See her name na Fiona. She a very fine girl, but you know that she know nice. Oh Lord, alcohol and cigarettes. A very sharp boy, me a pull up on a figure eight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause once again for our panelists. I am sure you learned one or two things, if not a whole lot from them. Round of applause once again for them, please, as they make their way. All right, now